Okay, I don't know what happened. That was interesting. So let me start over. I'm gonna start over. Okay, that didn't put out my thing. Yeah, that was definitely interesting. It was like glitching and I didn't know what to do, so I'm gonna start over now. So I was going through how to cleanse your tarot cards, and I'm gonna do that now from the beginning because my thing decided to die. So I was talking about in the beginning, plus I wasn't talking about anything interesting, so doesn't really matter. What I was saying was that I bought these new cards as my personal tarot deck because this tarot deck, oh gosh, is a lot, like the book for it, which I use a lot, is a lot geared towards other people other than myself. Like, it's a lot easier to read other people with it than it is to read me. So I got these cards. It's the Cosmic Slumber Tarot deck. And, I just bought them because, I don't know, I felt like they were good. And they are really good. Like, the quality of them is very nice. They were like $25 on Amazon. Like, this is a really good deck in general. But, so they don't really need cleansing. Also, I already cleansed them during my little thing. So, anywho, basically, what I use to cleanse my tarot cards, and I also mentioned earlier in the last live stream, which died, about how this is just how I do it, and if I'm wrong, somebody should tell me that I'm wrong, and I'm open to suggestions, but this always seems to work for me. Also, this incense stick, disclaimer, is not any form of sage. It is not Palo Santo. It is, ouch, it is a wild cherry scent from the dollar store. This is not special. So, a lot of people keep their incense in a sacred box. You can. I don't, because I don't have anywhere sacred enough to put it somewhere that I can call sacred. I literally get this piece of incense from this Shirley Temple bottle. And that is it. So, I don't, it's not super special. And I don't think it has to be, because everything you're doing with it is what makes it special. So, basically, you want to light your incense. There it is. It lit. Actually, it didn't light. It snuffed itself out. There you go. So once you have it lit, don't just put it down. That's a mistake. I always like to make a little shape with it, because I don't know. I feel like it. And, I don't know. It's like a christening of sorts. But definitely not a christening. You know what I mean? Anyway, I get the incense stick ready to go. And then I put my candle from Five Below, which is burning really close to one specific edge for some reason. And I put it back over there. And now you have a lit piece of incense. Ta-da. Don't put incense on your table. Put it in a holder. Wise words. Because you will burn your table and yourself and maybe your house down. So, you don't want that. Surprise. Anywho, start cleansing your deck. And I'm going to cleanse this one. I don't know if I said this or not, because this one is new. And it's already done, because I just did it. But you're going to start by, you just kind of hold it in your hand. Usually you should shuffle beforehand, but, I already shuffled this one. Because, like I said, I had a video that was dying. And all you're going to do is you're going to hold it like this. And just kind of wave it around the... Bonk, bonk, bonk. I had to dump the ashes off. wave it around the incense stick. Just for fun. For fun. But I'm a very, emotionally, I'm a very emotional person in general, so when I cleanse my cards, I like to do it based on how they feel in my hand. So if they feel like they are different on one side of the incense than the other, I'll cleanse them on the one that feels the best. Just because it is windy outside. Wow. Just because it feels the best. So, clearly that means that it's working or something. But, I am not the best witch nor the best person to be teaching people how to cleanse their cards. But the point is that I'm a beginner helping beginners, and eventually we're all going to be experts. So that is the goal. So hopefully that Instagram doesn't screw up this video and it lets me save it, so that way I can post it to the YouTube channel, which I have. But if it doesn't, then I don't know what. But basically, you just keep putting your cards over the incense smoke until you feel like they're good, So once you feel that they're good, you just continue to shuffle them. So that's what I'm gonna do now. And a pretty important thing to do is to, before I, learned some things about cleansing cards, I used to do a separation method, and I'm gonna do that now. But not the way I used to do it. How I used to do it was I would separate my cards by suit and the major arcana, and then I would split them and divide them and put them back. But then they are too close together, and I want the deck to have an opportunity to shuffle itself. So what I do is I'll take the top part of a deck, and I'll flip it upside down, and I'll put it there. And then I'll take another part, and I'll keep it that way, and I'll keep this part that way, and flip this part. You do whatever your hands do until you feel like your cards are in a good position in a way that they want to be in. So, like I said, I'm just flipping, unflipping, flipping, unflipping, and then you merge them all back into one big pile, which will become your deck again. So the whole point is that you're giving your cards an opportunity to move themselves in this big pile until they become the whole deck once again. Because I feel like if you're doing magic influenced by your own hand, then it's not magic, it's intuition. So I want my cards to be able to have a mind of their own, because they do. And if you let them use it, wonderful things could happen. Know this from experience. So that's why I stopped doing my old separation method, because I wasn't giving them, the freedom they could have very easily. Instead, I was separating them and putting them back in where I thought they belonged. And that doesn't make much sense, I still shuffle them like how I normally would, just like this, and then, of course, you've got the little card shuffle where you split it, and then you do that whole thing. That's actually a very, very, very efficient way to shuffle your cards, and you should probably do that all the time instead of this, which doesn't get much done. But I do this because it feels better in my hands, and when I'm looking for a card, intuition-wise, when I want a personal reading, or if I'm looking for, a specific answer, I'll shuffle like that until I feel a card that I know is the one that my deck is trying to show me. But I don't just pick one, ever. I shuffle it until I feel that my deck is ready to be pulled from. Same thing with cleansing. You cleanse until your deck feels ready to be used again. So like right about now, I feel like my deck is getting there pretty good, actually. So it definitely needed this because it's been a couple months. So I do really want to get this done. But, you know, in my eyes, I feel like witchcraft doesn't have to be such a very, like, specific thing as people make it out to be. Like, it's definitely holy, it's definitely sacred, it's a special, very, very, very special thing. But depending on if you're a pagan, if you're a Wiccan, if you are, you know, what branch of Wiccanism you're into, like, it depends on what your craft is. But the important thing is you make your craft. And that's what's so cool about Wicca and about witchcraft, is it's all you. You know, like, if you think back to forever ago, somebody made the traditions you celebrate now. Say it's Christmas, Yule, you know, Hanukkah. Somebody made those traditions probably way back when in your family. And you, if you're a first generation witch, you get to make those traditions. You get to pave the way for everyone else in your life. And, you know, I've had people who get their families involved just because of how much fun they're having doing it. And their family's like, whoa, what are you up to? You know? And then, of course, there's those people who maybe aren't so supportive. And to those people, I say, shame. Because if you have either a child or somebody in your life who is so enthusiastic about something as it takes to become the first step in something magnificent like that, and you're not going to support them, I mean, that's sad. You know? Like, I don't have a lot of enthusiasm for a lot of things. But if you know somebody with enough enthusiasm for something, as I know people who have for this, then that's something to be celebrated, I think. Oh my gosh, listen to the wind. Wow. That wind could crack a tree very easily. The wind is crazy. I don't know if any of you can hear that or not, but the wind is crazy outside right now. So I just feel like right now my deck is pretty good. So I'm going to actually put that deck away, and I'm going to just fiddle with my other deck for a little bit longer. Ooh, I didn't put the book back in. I was like, wow, this box seems really empty. That's why. And, you know, if you have a pendulum, and actually that's what I'm going to do because I did cleanse my other deck already. You can cleanse your pendulum. Mine is Opalite. You can cleanse your pendulum by this too. And this one is actually fun because you get to see it happen. So, for me, I like to keep it in a direction away from my face so that I can pay attention. I'm going to put the pendulum gently above the actual tip of the incense. Don't let it touch because that's just not good. And you can ask it questions like that. Try not to bump your hand like I just did, because you can't hold a hand underneath it. So, you know, I just realized nobody can see what I'm doing. So, I'll hold it like this. And I could see the answers to every thought that comes into my head. Like, it's just a very, you know, a very peaceful, calming thing to do. And your pendulum needs it just as much as everyone else. And everything else. So. And I started that to spin, by the way. That wasn't just my pendulum. I mean, she could do that if she felt like it, but I started to spin in a clockwise motion because that's what I feel like is the most cleansing for her. Or in her yes position, which is this way. which is what actually she's naturally doing. Just when I didn't push, that was what she was starting to do. So that's what I feel like is her, best cleansing position. But basically, you're just gonna sit there until your hand gets tired and let your pendulum do its work. So, like, I know that she's getting cleansed just by the way she's moving. So, I'm actually gonna put her back. Ooh, I bumped the lid of my jar. But, cleansing your pendulum and cleansing your crystals are actually pretty easy compared to how you would have to cleanse your tarot cards. Because for tarot, it's a lot more specific. So you have to shuffle them, and you have to put them over the incense, and make sure you shuffle them enough, and do the flip method and the separation method. For crystals and for pendulums, in fact, I'll show you you could put them in front of the sun to charge them with solar energy, depending on what kind of, witchcraft or energy you want them to hold. You can charge them by different phases of the moon in a windowsill, and you can charge them, certain ones, by placing them in water. You can charge them with other crystals. You can charge them with yourself. You can charge them, in so many different ways that, it's just a really easy thing to do. What?
There's a little bit of the food I cooked if you want some.
Okay, I'll go look. So this is my charge box. Sorry, not my charge box. And what's in here, I'm gonna actually put it down this way so you can see it. What's in here is just, all the crystals and things I have in a mixture of Himalayan salt. So be careful that your crystals can handle salt, because I learned that the hard way. Some of these in here actually, I don't think are supposed to be in salt, and I've had them in there. So they will deteriorate over time if you put them in salt and they're not supposed to. Especially some really delicate crystals. Some of them really just cannot handle it, and they will deteriorate. So like this is a little necklace filled with opalite beads, which I broke the bracelet they were on, and I was really honestly devastated. This is a piece of rainbow moonstone. To be honest with you, I don't remember which one this is. I feel like it's some kind of agate. This, I want to say, I actually don't know. This, I think, is lepidolite. This is definitely a piece of howlite, because I only had one piece of howlite, and I left it in my pencil case, which I had it cleansing in my pencil case, and then it wasn't cleansing in my pencil case, it was just kind of in there, because I put it in there to take with me, and then a pen spilled on it, so now it looks like this instead of white howlite. But, a charge box is something really easy to do. You can get any kind of cigar box or anything that can hold salt, and you just put salt in it and put your crystals in there. It's fairly inexpensive, and it's a really easy way to keep your crystals charged. Or you can use the incense, and you can charge them over the incense, or you can hold them in your hands with opposing poles, and there's lots of ways you can cleanse a crystal, and usually those ways are pretty easy compared to how you would cleanse a tarot deck. The more I'm looking at this, I believe this is a piece of moss agate. This, I want to say, is blue lace agate, but I don't think it is. I'm not sure what this is. This is definitely a piece of lepidolite, I believe. Definitely, I believe. This is a piece of agate. I'm almost certain of it. This might actually be my rainbow moonstone. I'm not sure. I went into a crystal store and I bought a bunch of things, but this is my rose quartz bracelet, which I'm actually going to cleanse over here too, because I wear this in my fluorite one every single day. And I might do a separate video on how to wear crystal bracelets after the next week, because I'm probably going to go back to my crystal shop that I go to get more because of presents for Yule and for myself because I need more. But yeah, I want to say this is black tourmaline, and this is a citrine heart. Definitely a citrine heart. I also had a big chunk of carnelian, which I had somewhere, and I found it recently because it was up on my I have a little tarot shelf over there, but of course everything is down here now because I was using them. But I had this piece of carnelian up there charging with my, to help charge my tarot deck, and eventually it got it fell off of the shelf and into underneath where my bed is, and it was really, it was there for a while, I guess. I mean, it must have been. So this is full now. I just wanted to see how many I could fit in here. But that's a charge box. So, and I keep that charge box on my altar. As far as crystals and things go, I also have this little jar. This is a wish stone, and it's the only one I've ever found. I've never made a wish on it. If you look closely, and I don't know if you could see it from here, but there is a stripe that runs all the way around it. Here you go, now you can see it. It runs all the way around it. So that's really special. Other than that, in here, there's just some tiny pieces of crystals. This is a piece of rose quartz. This is a piece of sea glass. But it's actually not sea glass, it's from the river. And then these are some natural quartz pieces that I obviously didn't tumble. Piece of rose quartz, a little piece of quartz, clear quartz. And then those are white quartz in there. But, just really special stuff. And I also would really recommend, if you have bad dreams, I would really recommend getting a salt lamp, because since I got my salt lamp, my dreams are just so much better. But anyway, back to the tarot cleansing. When you're finished with your incense, I just blow on it a little bit to get that extra ash off. And then I like to put it out in the water. Now, a lot of people like to burn them all the way through. But what I do is I put it out in a jar of moon water, which is what I have in here, believe it or not. Or I will just let it suffocate in the jar, because it will eventually. I've actually never done it that way, but I want to see if it will or not, because I feel like that would be really nice for my moon water. You can see it's getting really cloudy. Actually, I don't know if you can. That was it getting put out. And I'm actually gonna seal it in there. And if you look, this water down here is still completely clear. And all of that smoke stayed up the top. Now that is kind of cool. And you can tell it's smoke because if I open it, there it goes, you know? So, yeah. It's actually kind of cool. I've never done that part of it before. So, but yeah, you can do that. I knew you could. So, there you go. And then I just like to butt out the rest of that, the rest of that ash. And I do have a jar that I can keep my ashes in, but today I just don't feel like it. Because there wasn't a whole lot, actually. Because it was a rather quick thing. Of course, you're not supposed to wipe it away that way. But, you know, I hope that what I have done today helped somebody in some way. And with that, good night and blessed be.